My favorite thing about knitting is the challenge. It's the puzzle, it's the figuring out of a new technique, a new pattern. And this is something that I notice in my sewing projects as well, is that I like novelty. That's why I like using a lot of prints, and that's why I like trying new patterns and working with new fabrics and kind of like doing new things. And I do like repeating patterns that I really like wearing and that I used in my life. But I always like to add a little change, a little challenge, because I feel like I get bored with doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know. I just think it keeps my brain stimulated, makes me more likely to pick up the projects and finish them. And I think it's more fun. It's like I'm solving a puzzle. But once I've solved the puzzle, I might eventually get back and do that puzzle again. But like once I've done the puzzle, I've done the puzzle. Like I've figured it out. I don't want to do the puzzle again. The whole thing about teaching myself how to knit is that there's so many techniques. There's so many different types of cables. There's so many different types of color work. All sorts of things you can knit, like from hats and scarves and socks and sweaters and all these things that I still need to learn how to knit because I want to be a master knitter one day. So it feels like there's always a next challenge to be had and there's always a next thing to learn. And I think that's the really stimulating thing for me about knitting. And it turns out that it's actually really good for your brain. This very popular post about how like grandma hobbies, which is kind of demeaning to call them that, hobbies that are usually associated with grandmas are very good for your brain, especially knitting, especially when you're bad at them and you're learning them, is the thing of like novelty or creating new neural pathways in your brain. Yeah, essentially it's the like learning new thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be knitting. You could be learning a new language, or you could be learning how to play the piano or something else that interests you, and that would still be really beneficial to your brain. It's also good for your brain once you've done it and you know how to do it, and like the chill repetition of it is also good for you. But when it's new and you're learning it, it's really good for you because you're creating these new like railroads, I guess, in your brain. I am not a scientist. I don't know what I'm talking about. I found that interesting because that is my favorite part of the knitting, is figuring out a new technique. It's figuring out a new pattern. So if you want to join me on my knitting and sewing adventures, you should definitely follow me for more.